Just 2 hours ago, the South China Sea flashed from routine patrol to high-stakes brinkmanship near the Scarborough Shoal. The standoff, a US Navy destroyer facing a strategic trap, a floating barrier, deployed in contested waters. It's 14:37 local time, October 22nd. Aboard the USS Preble, DDG-88, the steel corridors echo with urgent radar alarms. Near the entrance of the lagoon, strange contacts bloom on the screen, blips marking a new, unexpected structure. Outside, the massive presence of the USS Nimitz carrier group drifts steady, but its air wing is on hold. Through binoculars, sailors confirm the threat, a long, dark composite floating barrier, stretching across the reef like a deliberate, anchored obstruction. The geopolitical context is critical. The Scarborough Shoal lies inside the Philippines' exclusive economic zone, EEZ, but Beijing claims it is Huangyan Island. This reef is a flashpoint for maritime rivalry. This is a sophisticated message, packed with submerged sensors and designed to physically impede navigation. Orbiting Skyfi and Satellogic satellites first captured the black line curling across the turquoise water. The American task is simple but delicate: observe and report, without provoking a kinetic response. Suddenly, two powerful China Coast Guard, CCG, vessels, the 5203 and the 3305, move into position. They form a wall between the Americans and the shoal, executing a classic shouldering maneuver. Orders from the Preble's captain cut through the noise: maintain position, do not provoke. The air is thick with tension, engines humming, each side waiting for the other to flinch first. High above, a US Navy P-8A Poseidon maritime patrol aircraft circles, its advanced sensors capturing every 10 seconds. On open channels, the distress calls of Filipino fishermen trapped outside their traditional waters crackled. The nearby Philippine frigate BRP Gregorio del Pilar holds position, hailing the CCG with curt replies. For Washington and Manila, alliance credibility hangs on what happens next. At 14:52 local time, the rain lifts. Radar shows the three CCG vessels forming a crescent near the lagoon, creeping forward slowly, deliberately. Contact bearing 085, closing at 5 knots. Launch drone, the captain orders. A small quadcopter lifts off, its speed streaming to the Nimitz. The carrier's air wing remains armed but grounded. For now, this is an information war. An open channel warning from the CCG crackles: unidentified warship. You are entering Chinese waters. Leave immediately. The calm American reply is practiced: this area lies within international waters. We will continue lawful navigation. As the CCG 5,203 inches forward, it scrapes the barrier. A deep metallic crack echoes across the lagoon. Then, a new threat, a flicker on the radar. Multiple small, fast contacts hugging the surface: unmanned surface drones, USVs, 6 of them, racing toward the barrier and the Preble. The lead drone veers, accelerating toward the Preble's bow. Deploy counter-drone jammer. The EW system roars, but the drones push through. Launch RHIB. 2 rigid-hulled inflatable boats hit the water. The drones close to within 200 yards. This is no longer just about politics, it is about reflex and survival. The barrier fragments, sinking beneath the weight of this new engagement. At 15:27 local time, in a driving squall, the drones are within 100 yards. RHIB crew deploy a hook, snagging one drone and slamming it into the barrier wreckage. But another drone darts under the Preble's bow, causing a collision alarm to blare. Simultaneously, the CCG 5203 lunges forward, nearly ramming the American vessel. The BRP Gregorio del Pilar cuts between them. Cease movement. Cease movement. Filipino voices crackle over the radio. Lightning splits the sky, illuminating 3 ships locked in a triangle of tension. Then, silence. Engines idle, drones drift lifeless, the barrier gone. The Chinese ships back off, slowly, deliberately. The storm has passed without a shot, but only just. The incident is logged: no weapons fired, no casualties, tension unresolved. Analysts call it a gray zone victory. China tested the line, and the US held it. The barrier is gone, but the invisible line of pride, fear, and ambition still cuts through the South China Sea. We shift now to an incident just days earlier, 1540 local time, October 10th, near the Paracel Islands. The calm ride of a US Navy P-8A Poseidon snapped into a high-speed intercept. Two spikes light the scope, fast and aggressive, J-11BHs, naval fighter variants from Hainan Island. Contact closure, 20 meters. The Poseidon pilot banks low, avoiding a cold and steady fire control beam. The aircraft's sophisticated ALQ-240 Electronic Warfare system wakes with a hiss, jamming the hostile radar and turning incoming threats into static. Outside, two gray shapes slash across the Poseidon's nose, wagging wings, a classic, menacing warning maneuver. The P-8 Poseidon's mission is clear: fly straight, collect critical intelligence, and assert the principle of freedom of navigation. But to Beijing, each American aircraft is a challenge drawn too close to its claimed Air Defense Identification Zone, ADIZ. From artificial reefs like Fiery Cross and Woody Island, the Chinese radar network tracks everything. The Poseidon's crew knows they are not just flying, they are representing a distant policy. The interceptors slide in tight, wingtips flashing. The tactical coordinator, Taco, watches the radar, another spike. Fire control radar. Lock-on confirmed. 12 seconds of pure tension. The Poseidon drops altitude, banking to break the beam. The ALQ-240 throws a wall of static across the spectrum. A voice cuts in, unidentified aircraft. You are approaching Chinese airspace. Leave immediately. The calm reply, this is a US Navy aircraft operating in international airspace. The standoff escalates. One Chinese fighter cuts dangerously across the Poseidon's nose, its vapor trail slicing the sky, rocking the heavy patrol jet. 20 meters, a dangerously close distance. The P-8 is being tested. How far can China push before the US blinks? The pilot holds steady. Don't give them a reason, he mutters. At 1552, the pressure intensifies. Surface radar activates from a mobile, low, and fast source. The J-11s are now coordinated with fast surface units, closing a box, trapping the Poseidon between sky and sea. The fighters split into a pincer formation. The pilot holds steady. Then, a high-pitched tone screams through the cabin. Visual contact, small launch detected. A dark speck lifts from the water, a small, fast, metallic drone. The threat has changed shape. The drone rises quickly, its heat signature flaring. It levels off and heads straight for the P-8. The American jet banks left to evade, but the drone matches its move, it is tracking them. The J-11s dive, closing distance, the Poseidon's countermeasures spool up, flares eject, brilliant against the haze. Keep it defensive, the pilot snaps. The drone suddenly bursts forward, slicing between the Poseidon and the lead J-11. For 3 seconds, time stops. The small vehicle streaks past their nose and climbs vertically, vanishing into the cloud. No missile was fired, but the intent was obvious, a simulated strike, a final, aggressive warning. The fighters peel away in perfect, synchronized symmetry. The P-8 holds its course south, the mission successful but the threat confirmed. This was a rehearsal for the future. The true face of modern gray zone conflict is the grinding, nerve-shredding pressure of proximate maneuvers. These encounters are decided by the professionalism of the crews and the capability of their electronic warfare suites. The new variable is the unmanned system, small, expendable, and designed to provoke a response without committing a nation to open war. In today's digital battles, seconds define survival. The true objective is not to win a firefight, but to win the narrative, to control the perception of restraint versus provocation. The line between an exercise and a kinetic incident has nearly vanished.